What's going on, guys? Higgs here and welcome back to another video. And in this one we're going to be going over some of the weapons that I'll be using in season 23. Now this is going to be mainly, or it is going to be PvE focused. I don't play PvP much and I haven't got a clue what's good or not good, so I won't be trying to give you advice on what to use in that part of the game. So season 23 has some really good additions, and with changes that were made prior to the season launching, it has made some old weapons more viable again. And I'm going to go over some of the weapons that I use in Nightfalls, Lost Sectors, and all the other pinnacle activities that there are in the game. Now guys, this isn't the final list. There is going to be more videos coming out with more weapons. And remember, this is one bald man's opinion. The first weapon up is the Indebted Kindness. Now this drops from the new dungeon, Warlords of Ruin, and guys, let me tell you, it actually slaps. And it makes dealing with barrier champions extremely easy. And for players like myself who mainly play solo or use LFG, you will know the absolute pain that when you load into an activity and no one has any champion mods on, so you've got to run around like John Rambo trying to deal with everything yourself. And this is why Indebted Kindness has its place, especially in my solo loadouts for Lost Sectors, Nightfalls, and all the other activities with champions in them. It does sit in your special weapon slot, but with ammo finders, you'll never run out. The archetype is Rocket Assisted Frame, which means a sidearm fires self-propelled rocket ammunition. And this is why I say, guys, it makes dealing with barrier champions so easy, and it one-shots their regen shield while also taking them out extremely quickly. It's a great ad clearer as well, and makes doing activities that little bit easier. Let's start off by looking at the weapon stats and perks, and it does have some juicy rolls. So we're going to look at both trait columns, and in the first one we've got Beacon Rounds, Impulse Amplifier, Loose Change, Lead from Gold, Enlightened Action, and Offhand Strike. And in the second trait column we've got Vault Shot, Surrounded, Permeability, Adagio, Attrition Orbs, and Deconstruct. With its basic origin trait, Sundering, and this is destroying vehicles and constructs grants this weapon bonus reload speed and charge rate. Constructs include barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, and other objects created in the field. In terms of the ideal role, you're going to want Beacon Rounds and Vault Shot. Beacon Rounds is really ideal with this weapon because final blows with this weapon grant your projectiles tracking, dealing further damage, extends the duration. So you can stack up to 4 times with this, and again, because you've got the rocket propelled ammunition on this sidearm, Beacon Round just makes absolute sense. And because it's arc, Vault Shot is such a good trait to have. It makes dealing with ads so easy. And for those of you that don't know, Vault Shot is reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges this weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt on its next hit. I haven't managed to get the God roll yet, and I really do, because it's going to make an already solid weapon even better. Next up is this season's exotic, and the only exotic on the list, and that is Dragon's Breath. The reason why I've included this is because if you're playing season 23, you can have access to the Dragon's Breath because it's the seasonal exotic. Now, I was really skeptical about this when Bungie announced the rocket launcher's return, as back in the day it wasn't that great in my opinion. But the rework they've done is really good, and with solo playing a role this season, it literally cooks. And this is topped off with the artifact perk, Overload Rocket Launchers, which makes dealing with the glitchy Overload champs really simple. I mean, look at this clip here, it is ridiculous. I've always struggled with Overload champs, but having this rocket launcher, or any rocket launcher really, with this mod on, oh, it's just so nice. Anyway, Dragon Breath's intrinsic trait is Composite Propellant. Rockets embed themselves in struck targets and periodically eject incendiary fuel that inflicts scorch. The longer this weapon goes without firing, the more fuel the next rocket contains. And this leads nicely into its basic trait, High Octane, and this is igniting nearby targets partially replenishes fuel. This weapon refills itself from reserves upon gaining maximum fuel. And we have Volatile Launch, which is the barrel, and we also have Black Powder, which is the basic magazine. And the exotic catalyst adds another trait called Pyromancer, which replenishes fuel in the rocket launcher faster and spawns fire sprites. Now, with the catalyst, it can take a while to complete, but with the season pass, you can obtain these boosters to aid in the completion. So make sure you level up the pass, which makes the catalyst grind just that bit easier. Moving on, we have another returning weapon, and that is Tiger Spite. Now, this originally dropped all the way back in Forsaken and the Dreaming City. I think that was like season 3. Now this can be attained by, coincidentally, completing Dreaming City activities like the Blind Well, Shattered Throne Dungeon, Ascendant challenges, and through the Season of the Wish itself. This sort of rifle is a precision frame, and its origin trait is Advanced Reflexes. Upon taking damage from a target, quickly guard or aim down sights with this weapon to gain bonus mobility, handling, and charge rate for a short time. Now, with auto rifles playing a role in terms of overload champions this season, Tiger Spike deals with them pretty sweet. I have to say, I've had no issues using this at all in any activity, be that legend or master that has overload champs in them. Just a quick tip about how to obtain this, because some people just might not know. In the Dreaming City, where you can do the blind well, if you put a tier 3 in and you and your team complete it within the allotted time, that will actually then spawn a heroic event. And all you have to do is kill Mr. Meatball here. When he goes immune, just jump into the little blight, shoot them, rinse and repeat, and you'll actually get a better chance of more rewards at the end of it. Just wanted to do that quick side note, guys, because not everyone knows about that. But in terms of what a Tiger Spike can roll with, we've got some good combinations here. Our first trait column has got Outlaw, Subsistence, Overflow, Invisible Hand, Fragile Focus, and Moving Target. And the second trait column's got Kill Clip, Frenzy, Demolitionist, Kinetic Tremors, Eye of the Storm, and Attrition Orbs. Now, Kinetic Tremors, I really like this trait, where it's sustained kinetic damage to a target. It makes a shockwave that damages any nearby targets. But I have to say, Bungie, please put a bit of love into this, because I don't think it does enough, but the idea behind it is really cool. Bungie just need to give it a bit of love, you know, and then that will make it extremely top tier, in my opinion. In terms of trait combos, saying that, I am going to actually recommend getting Kinetic Tremors. Now, I would pair this with Subsistence, pure and simply because defeated targets will partially reload your magazine. And with auto rifles, it actually refills 17% of the magazine instead of the standard 10. I just like Subsistence, especially with the auto rifle. You are going to be firing it a lot, especially for ads. You're not going to be using it to do DPS on a boss. You're using it to ad clear. That's exactly what you're using it for. And with Kinetic Tremors, you're going to get that little added shockwave as well. So that would be the role that I would be going for 100%. But you have got things like Demolitionist with Subsistence. You could even mix it up and go the old school Outlaw Kill Clip. I still like Kill Clip because after you get a kill when you reload, you get a 25% increase in damage for 5 seconds. And with Outlaw, it's always nice to have a really fast reload. Next up is an OG Pinnacle weapon. Now this is the Precision Frame Auto Rifle Breakneck, which you can get from Gambit. Back in Season 5, it was a really solid auto rifle, and it's no different now. The only difference is it's not a Pinnacle, it's now just a normal Legendary drop, and you don't need to play an extremely large amount of matches to get it. It can just drop at the end of a Gambit match or opening rank up packages, and you can actually get random rolls with it. There's not a curated roll anymore, although some of the perks have kept it in line with what it used to be. Looking at the first trait column, we've got Subsistence, then we've got Dynamic Sway Reduction, Hip Fire Grip, Keep Away, Heating Up, Shoot to Loot, Pugilist, Feeding Frenzy, Encore, Enlightened Action, Eye of the Storm, and Under Pressure. And in a second trait column, Onslaught, Deconstruct, Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors, Demolitionist, Offhand Strike, Tap the Trigger, Osmosis, Moving Target, Adagio, and Harmony. With its basic origin trait, Gun and Run, rapidly defeating targets with this weapon grants bonus sprint speed. Guardians, powerful combatants, and high value targets grant this bonus quicker. Now, the standout combination is absolutely Subsistence and Onslaught, because Subsistence partially reloads your magazine from reserves, and Onslaught, his final blows with this weapon, increases its rate of fire. So with them two combinations, you have now just turned your auto rifle into a miniature machine gun. If you want to mix it up a little bit with other perks, the other combinations you could do is Onslaught, Eye of the Storm. We do have Kinetic Tremors in there as well, so you could pair that with Dynamic Sway Reduction. So there is some good mixture of perks in this one, but the standout ones are Onslaught and Subsistence. And now we have a new addition to this season, and that is the Strand Rapid Fire Frame Fusion Rifle Scatter Signal. Now this can be obtained through running Season of the Wish activities, things like the coil, leveling up your rank with Riven, and when you do get it to drop, you can actually focus your engrams, which will give you the better chance of getting the roll that you're looking for. Which leads us into the trait columns. So first up is Perpetual Motion, Overflow, Loose Change, Surplus, Enlightened Action, Encore, and Slice. And in column 2, we have Under Over, Adagio, Deconstruct, Kickstart, Controlled Burst, Attrition Orbs, and Hatchling. And our origin trait is Dragon's Vengeance. When an ally dies or you reach critical health, this weapon's magazine refills and it gains bonus range, charge rate, and handling. So if you're running Strand as a subclass, I would go for Slice and Hatchling or Slice and Controlled Burst. So with Slice, when you cast your class ability, this allows the weapon to sever targets on hit for a brief duration. And hatchling, we probably all know that by now. That is precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with a non-precision weapon spawns a threadling at the target's location. Or you could mix slice with controlled burst if you don't need help generating any more hatchlings, because for me controlled burst is the best perk for the fusion rifle, and that is landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and reduced charge time for a short duration. Now if you're not running strand, I would probably mix controlled burst with enlightened action. Now this is dealing damage, improves reload speed and handling, and as I said previously, reload speed is a really nice thing to have because no one wants to be sitting there for ages waiting to reload. Now the last weapon in today's video is a beast. Now this is the Strand Adaptive Frame Legendary Machine Gun Mokato 45. Now this is a well drop, although I've got both of mine from running the coil, so I don't know if you get a higher drop rate for running new seasonal activities. And boys, this is an absolute monster. It's actually made me put away my retrofit escapade in quite a few of my Lost Sector videos. That's all I run, it's just my retrofit escapade. But this gun is such a beast, and it's got some really good rolls. If we look at the first trait column here, we've got Threat Detector, Steady Hands, Demolitionist, Splice, Attrition Orbs, and Triple Tap. And the second perk column, we've got Onslaught, Hatchling, Surrounded, Adagio, Under Over, and Golden Tricorn. So straight up, you're going to want to get Triple Tap and Onslaught. With Triple Tap, rapidly landing precision hits will return 1 round to the magazine. And with Onslaught, because it can stack 3 times, what I would do is quickly kill some enemies. 3 red bars is all you need. And then you've got that increased fire rate for 12 seconds, all at the boss. It doesn't seem long, but it will do some hefty damage. That there for me is what you should be going for. But again, like previous, if you do run a strand subclass, you have Hatchling and Slice. You've got Demolitionist there as well. That's a bit of a slept on perk. Link that up with Onslaught, you've got a rapid fire machine gun that is getting your grenade energy all the way up. And when you do activate your grenade ability, it reloads the weapon from reserves. So there's a good few perks and combinations to be had here. But the ones I mentioned, you should really start going for. Obviously, you can't focus farm this or anything like that, so you are relying on good RNG. That is the only downside about this weapon. But that is it for the video, guys. As always, if you found yourself enjoying it or got anything from the video, please leave a thumbs up. It helps this channel out massively. And if you haven't already, maybe subscribe. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you on the next video.